I'm going to begin by showing you a quick trick that I use to find the highest common factor when given two terms. If you feel really confident with doing this, skip ahead until I actually start factorising. So let's start by finding the highest common factor between 12 and 18. So what I do is I do it quite systematically. So I start with 1, so I know 1 and 12. Then I go to 2, 2 and 6, 3 and 4. I know there's no 5 and I've already done 6. 18 I do the same, 1 and 18, 2 and 9, 3 and 6. 5 doesn't go into it evenly, neither does 4, so there are my common factors, my factors of each, sorry. So now I need to find the highest common factor. So I can see they've both got a 1, they've both got a 2, they've both got a 3, they've both got a 6. 6 is the highest number, therefore that is my highest common factor. Let's take a look at this next one, where I've got 3x squared and 9x. So once you start introducing variables, some people do get a little bit tricked up. So I try and do my variables and my numbers or my constants separate. So this one I've got 1 and 3. X squared is x and x, or it could also be x squared and 1. That's a really terrible one. Let me redo that for you. Again, the same. 9 is 1 and 9, 3 and 3, and x is just x and 1. So in this case, my highest common factor is going to be 3 and x. So I forgot to write this earlier. HCF equals 3x. HCF equals 6. We'll do one more just finding common factors of both, and then we'll look at how we actually factorise them. So the next one that we're looking at is 4xy squared and 8x squared y. So once again, I do each thing separately. 1 and 4, 2 and 2, x, y and y, or y squared and 1. Here we've got 1 and 8, 2 and 4, x and x, or x squared and 1, and y. So in this case, my highest common factor is 4, x, and y. So therefore, HCF equals 4xy. So what's the point of finding the highest common factor? Well, when we're factorising, the highest common factor is what we take outside of the brackets, and the remaining factor of the pair is what goes inside the brackets. So let's do a few examples now where we're actually factorising. Let's now factorise these four expressions. So the highest common factor from earlier, we know that the highest common factor for both of these is 6. So as I mentioned previously, the 6 goes outside of the brackets. Now you essentially need to think to yourself, 6 multiplied by what will give me 12x? So I know that 6 multiplied by 2x is 12x. 6 multiplied by what gives me 18? So 6 multiplied by 3 is 18. So this is where it can come in handy. This is just a quick side note. So back to where before where we were listing our factors, 2 and 6, sorry. So you can see that by listing my factors this way, I can see that the 6 came outside the brackets. So what I'm left with in my pairs essentially can go back inside the brackets now. So if you struggle with factorising, make sure you are doing this step of listing all of your factors so you can see how they match up. Otherwise, just do as I mentioned before, and you're almost thinking to yourself, 6 multiplied by what will give me 12x, which is 6 multiplied by 2x is 12x. And the same, 6 multiplied by what gives me 18, so 6 times 3 is 18. Okay, we'll work through these ones a little bit quicker now. So the highest common factor here is equal to 3x. So the 3x goes outside. 3x multiplied by what gives me 3x squared. So I know that that one is an x. This time I have a minus sign, so I need to minus 3x multiplied by what will give me 9x, so minus 3. You can always check by expanding, so make sure that if you, again, are a little bit unsure, that that's what you do. My highest common factor for this one, oops, I might run out of room, we'll see how we go, is 4xy. No, I'll fit it in. So that's what goes outside the brackets, 4xy. So inside the brackets, I need to simply put x. I have a plus. Now I've got 2y. Again, check by expanding if you need to. This last one here is a little bit of a trick one for some people. Just because it's in brackets, it still means it's a term. So we can still, or a factor. So in this case, the highest common factor of each of these terms is x plus 4. Okay, so as we've been doing, the process does not change. So all we do now is we take our highest common factor out the front, which is x plus 4, and the remaining factors go inside my brackets. 3x, I should have done that, plus 2. There you go.